Hey, welcome to the Ina Show today. Thank you for joining me. I'm here in my kitchen, and basically I'm doing a lot of the shows right now, shooting from my home, just so that I can just relax sometimes and feel a little bit more at home while I'm talking to you. And I'm talking this month about universal laws that governs life. And in particular this month I'm focusing on the first law, which was a key that I had given you, the law of love. And the law of love is very important for us to know and have an idea of what that law really means and how it functions, and also how to use it. One of the things that we're focusing on in particular about the law of love is loving yourself. Because I had mentioned earlier in some of the tapings is that it's very difficult to love others when you do not love yourself. Now, that doesn't mean that you totally hate yourself. You can check your love language about yourself in a particular area when you see that you may be struggling or having difficulties in an area. It can be in relationships. It can be about changing your physical body so much that it's no longer recognizable to a lot of people. And when I say that, I'm talking about cosmetic surgery gone overboard. People literally changing their face or the color of their skin, bleaching. When you go to bleaching to such an extreme that you hate the color of your skin. And so those are the things that we're talking about right now as far as the law of love, is loving yourself, even the skin that you're in. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't get to tweak or touch up little things, change the color of our hair, change the color of our wardrobe. But when you go to extremes, you need to go within to find out really what is pushing you to that extreme. And sometimes it is situations that we have experienced, past things or beliefs about ourselves that we have experienced growing up. I told the story, some of you have probably already heard this before. I've told the story about growing up, and I had uncles and relatives or cousins who would call me ugly. That was my little nickname, ugly. And I grew up, as I was, getting older, more and more in my teen years, I had begun to establish this ugly syndrome belief. And it didn't matter how many times people would say, oh, your smile is pretty, your eyes is pretty, or you're a pretty girl, or you're beautiful. I never would believe them because, number one, I constantly heard over and over again, you have an ugly smile, you have big teeth, you're skinny, or whatever it was. Whatever they could find to nitpick. But what we don't realize is those words, which we'll talk about as a law too, talking about the power of words. Those words were seeds that were planted. And oftentimes we have to go back in as we're older and dig those roots up, dig them up, dig them up, dig those negative roots up, those words that were so hurtful and damaging, and they gave us through different areas of our lives, complexes. Some of us have we deal with lack of love because of molestation or rape or whatever it is that we have experienced that has traumatized our spirit. And so when it traumatizes our spirit or our soul, which your soul is your mind, will, and your emotions, when you're traumatizing your soul, and your emotions, or in your mind, and even in the controlling of your own will, to the point that the person is dominating you for their good and not for your highest good. We're not talking about parental control as far as parents parenting their children and raising their children under certain guidelines. We're talking about control to the point that you violate another human being's rights. So that is really what I want to touch on, or as I'm touching on the law of love, as we're talking about loving ourselves, I want to touch on areas like that, or bring areas up, that could be anchors that really is holding you back. I also discussed people going through cycles over and over again with abuse, whether it's physical abuse, emotional abuse. It doesn't matter what kind of abuse it is. Abuse is not good. It's wrong, and oftentimes people who continue in a cycle of abuse is because there is something in there that allows them to keep going through that cycle again, and it deals with loving themselves. And love also has forgiveness in there as well, which is another law. So I'm going to couple, just at this particular time, forgiveness and love. It's okay to forgive yourself of anything that you think that you may have done, and it's over with, it's done with. You need to forgive yourself. You need to move past that by saying that is done with, it's dead, it's over, it's gone. It's not even here anymore. But you beat yourself up over and over again over it because of a guilt, or you hated the fact that that was a behavior that you displayed. So that hate, guilt factor is right in there, and it's really churning up those negative feelings that keep you locked into that unforgiveness about yourself, which when you have that within there, that you can't forgive yourself and say to yourself that, you know what, I was that type of person, I did those things, or those were the things that I said, but I can change, I have a choice, I have a will, and I can make changes, and I can change starting right now. I can adjust even my thinking about that situation. And so love is also forgiving yourself of actions that you've done or have taken that has hurt someone else, especially if you've gone to the person and you tried to make it right. That's key, okay? Go to the person, try to make it right. But also, you have to be able to come to a place within your life where you have said, I have done everything that I could do, and I'm still experiencing something that I don't like, this pain or this feeling, and so I have to check if I am bitter, angry, or hurt, or angry, or just frustrated with myself, and I haven't forgiven myself over the situation, and it's now time for me to do that. And that's a part of love, to say to yourself, that is done with, I'm done with it, and it's time to move on. And these are the changes that I need to make in order for me to get a different result. So I need to reevaluate why I'm doing it. Where is my love walk in here? Okay? Where is the thing that I say that I love myself enough to not allow? Remember I said you can love yourself enough to say no to trauma, no to intrusions, no to if it doesn't feel good. You can say that I can say no to those things that are not good for me. But real quick, I want to give you an assignment. I want you to take time to say, where have I been hating myself? What are the ways that I say within this language that I have that no one else hears within myself? No one else can hear that but me. Where am I saying things such as, I hate that about that, or I am so angry that I've done that and I haven't gotten over it because of. And I want you to write those things out. And then I want you to write out to yourself, I am liberated and I'm free from this, because I choose today to forgive myself, forgive others, and release that. And I love myself enough not to continue harboring those things, which can make me sick. We'll talk about that, because love is so powerful. It is so powerful to the point that it can heal you, or the hatred can make you sick, physically sick. So anyway, listen, write me. Let me know how you're enjoying the program at INA Global, the number 8 at AOL.com. And if you need a life coach or you would like a life coach, you can write me. But also, I do speak. So if you would like to have me as a speaker, I'm more than welcome to, more than honored to connect with you. And let's take it one day at a time, ladies. Especially the ladies. I'm talking to everyone, but in particular, ladies, take it one day at a time. Don't beat yourself constantly over your head with the guilt of the past and unforgiveness over things that you have done, that it's over. It's time for you to move on and pick up that love language and say, I love myself enough to say I can't stay here.